I remember only one thing. I was by the small river. The river was on the right side of me. There was a small shore that looked very beautiful on the other side. I saw rays of light emanating that I'd never seen before. The river was crystal clear. You could see everything inside. I felt very nice and warm close to that beach. I wanted to get to the other side. I tried to get to the other side, but I would hit something. I tried one more time and realized that there was an invisible wall I couldn't pass. I began screaming for help, but there was nobody around. I felt I didn't belong here and needed to get to the other side, but there was an invisible block I couldn't go through. When I turned and looked around, I was terrified. Beach on my side was huge, with no beginning, no end. There were human bones and skeletons everywhere. All bodies were organized by size. I saw men's and women's bodies. I was petrified. And then in a second, I found myself lying on the ground next to the last skeleton. When I was on the ground, something left my body and stayed in the air next to me. I don't know what it was. I couldn't move my body, only my head. I wasn't tied up or anything like that, but I still couldn't move. Then I felt the sand begin moving next to me, and I saw somebody approaching me. I couldn't see his body, only his huge, scary-looking legs. He stood next to me and started laughing at me. It was frightening laughter I can't describe. I turned my face toward the other side of the river. It was still very nice and warm over there. I knew this horrible place was not for me, and I needed to get to the other side. Then the demon beside me made some sound, and I saw something dark approaching me from my left side. When they approached me, they were big black spiders. They surrounded me and began to tear my clothes up with their fangs. They also were laughing very viciously. I saw their eyes. They were very happy to tear me apart. They teared my body up. I saw my stomach was open, and I saw all my organs, lungs, liver. They were tearing my flesh out, but it would come back in place. They were drinking my blood, laughing and dancing. They were very happy. I began screaming, "God, please help me." I had been screaming for a long time, but nobody helped me. Then one of the demons made a sound, and those spiders became quiet. I saw fear in their eyes, but I didn't know what they were afraid of. When I turned my head, I saw a cloud coming up from the river, and there was a fog above the cloud. The cloud was so white and bright. The fog disappeared when it rose to my level, and I saw a huge hand holding a cross. I've never seen anything like that. The cross had the same rays of light emanating as I saw on the other side of the river. I felt very nice and warm. These hands started turning towards me. I closed my eyes, and that warmth just went through me and stood by my left side. Then I opened my eyes, and that beautiful light covered me. I saw a black hole in the middle of that light, as if I were looking into the universe. I began screaming, "God, please help me." Then I heard a strong, powerful voice that I'd never heard before. That voice was coming from everywhere, and he told me, "You have to stay here for now." Then the cross turned away and began going down. At the same moment, I noticed how whatever left my body before came back and entered me. I got up and tried again to get to the other side of the river, but I hit an invisible wall again. I was so afraid of those spiders. I was screaming, "God, please take me with you." When the cross almost disappeared, I heard the same voice saying, "This is your last chance," and the cross disappeared. I continued banging that invisible wall. I was screaming like a crazy person. I wanted to get to the other side, no matter what, but I couldn't. Then I heard children laughing and singing beautiful songs from the other side of the river. It was amazing. I never heard anything like that before. The next thing I remember, I opened my eyes again and saw my wife. She was standing next to me. I was in a hospital bed. Then a few doctors came. They were very surprised to see me alive and said, "It is impossible. How come you are alive? You were dead." I asked my wife to bring me the Bible, and I read it daily. There was one female doctor who would come to me every day. One day she came to me and stand on her knees by my bed and said, "I don't know what you had to see over there. I can't imagine how you were able to come back. You were completely dead, and we had already started preparing the death certificate for your family." A few days later, I told them I wanted to go home. The doctor told me if I could get up from the bed, leave the room, walk through the aisle and come back by myself, they would discharge me. I didn't know how I did it because I couldn't walk alone. I needed help from at least 2 men to hold me. I was very skinny. But that day, God helped me and I could do it all by myself, and they sent me back home.